Good morning, world. It's coming together. This is the van that I drove up in. So they're kitting this one out now. So the other van you saw in the previous video, that one is finished, and this one is now the one they're kitting out. I've never actually seen how they do this. It's incredible. I paid, right, when I got this van at Renault, I paid for ply lining. I think it was something like, 700 quid for both vans to have them ply lined. As soon as it arrives, first thing they do, they rip it all out. So I basically might as well just taken 700 quid and just given it to a tramp on the street for as little as it was worth. So in fact, it's a big, I'll show you a big pile of it here. All that is flooring, perfectly good flooring that's come out of vans. All these vans dotted here. It just comes out and they just throw it out. Because when they put this hexa flooring, where is it? You'll see it when it goes in. It's like a hexa flooring. But yeah, the first thing they do is they just rip all of that out and they just make it a bare shell like this. If I'd have known that, I'd have saved myself 700 quid, but never mind. But it's coming along now. He's doing the electrics now in it, putting the work lights in and all the interior lighting and stuff. This wouldn't be a very electrically biased channel if I didn't have a little look and see what they were doing. They got four white, what's that? One for the hot water unit, one for the rear work lights, and the two interior lights, I'm guessing. It's a hell of a job actually, because I was wondering how they do all the wiring and stuff. And I thought they're not going to start stripping the whole van apart. They do. All the door rubbers come off, this roof lining comes down, everything. They have to route all the cabling nice and neatly. And this isn't just like, you know, this van. All the other ones, I mean, you've seen some of the other vans here, but I'll show you again in a second. The intricacy of which they do all this stuff in is just, it's incredible. It really is. It's interesting to see it because it's all the stuff you don't see. You know, all of this comes out, they run everything all nice and neatly, all these rubbers then go back in. Anyway, I think I'm holding these boys up because I think they want to start racking this out, but I will touch base in a little. We'll go outside and have a look at the other van and we'll touch base in a sec. You're just walking around here just because every single day they've got new vans coming in, so you get to see every new van that comes in. You're just looking at the new stuff that they're fitting custom into these vans. And this place, it is literally like Pimp My Ride for vans. It's just incredible. I mean, this one here, I don't know what this is. It's Ireland, don't know who they are. But they've got a swing lift in here, you know? But they fit all this stuff they just fit it all in. All the electrics for the winch and stuff. It's just incredible. You name something and they'll fit it in. They'll find a way. You know, when you look at all these like Speedy Hire vans and Stone Hire, all these vans which are like fully kitted out to the max, and you look at them and you think, who actually does all of that sort of stuff? It's these fellas. This is actually the same, and just at the front of this van, this is the same one. And they're beefy vans. It's like a high top transit. But it's little things like, you know, all these like all the recessed beacons, the hazard lights behind the grills and stuff. You see them on new vans and you wonder like, who does all of that shit? Because you just don't know. No one, you know, unless you actually have been somewhere like here, you just don't sort of really think about it. But it's these sort of people who do, you know, they take the grill out, they fit it all in. Even things like the top loader system, the roof rack. I can't actually reach it from here, but you've got the little angled indicator lights, the hazard lights on all four corners. These really the beautiful little angled lights on the corners, you know. They had one van in here yesterday that was, I'm guessing this is probably going to have the same thing, and it was like a remote cutoff. So when they've got like an inverter in the back, it was a truck repair company. So they were doing like when they've got like, I don't know, when they're doing like discs, pads or whatever on trucks, and they've got a workbench in the back. It was a high top transit like this one. But when the guy is, you know, when the guy is working, when he comes out of the driver's seat and he moves into the back, and he still needs to have the engine running because he needs the power takeoff and all the rest of it. When he's working in the back, because he's got the engine running, if someone's walking past on the road and decides they want to nick the van, when they open the door and jump in because the engine's still running, as soon as you let the handbrake off, it cuts the power to the engine. So it's just little things, and they fit all of that as well. And it's just, I think it's incredible. Really, it's an impressive setup. It really is. It just come out again. We just walked to the other side of the warehouse here, and there's another van here. It is neat. You've got to give it to them. It's such a beautifully neat finish. What is it? Scottish Power this is, but what a stunningly neat conversion. I don't know what this is. I'm guessing there's a table or something, or maybe this will be a vice on here, or I don't know. As I'm saying, it's not just my van. It's like some super neat job. All of them. It's just the precision in just all of it. Do you think they're going to shout at me if I get in? It's a fuse board down there of some sort. There are mains power here though, that they plug into. Some sort of a little holder up here. I'm guessing this is having a tow bar on it because it's on the ramp. But that's the other thing, like tow bars, you know, the big tread plates on the backs of the Ford Transits, you normally see them, and the Iveco Dailies, those big yellow tread plates, all that stuff they fit here. But anyway, look, this is this van. I want to go around the front and have a look at my van and see how that one's going. This here is the, they've just bought the roof rack over. This is the roof rack and the folding down ladder rack, which will come down the side of the van there. But these are the roof bars. There's 3 roof bars which are going on, and they're such substantial, Christ, the nicest roof rack I've had. Properly substantial, but it's such a clever, just a simple design. They put these rubber strips. It's not rubber, it's like a hard plastic almost. I don't know, but it means when you're loading at the back of the van, anything you put on here doesn't get scratched. It just slides over it nice and smoothly. You don't scratch the surface of whatever you're putting on the rack. It's only a small addition, but it's just someone's taken, do you know what I mean? Someone's taken the time to think about adding that as an addition. And these slotted grooves, so you can put bungee cords in rather than have to go underneath the rack and you tie the cord back onto itself the way that I've always done it. They're just 2 little additions, but it just makes sense. I mean, you know, it's just an observation. I just think it's such a nice finish. But yeah, they've just bought my van. That one there was finished. They've just bought it back in because apparently, like, some head honchos or something want to have a walk around and see the new SR5 racking. I've just filled it full of my shit. These like super bigwigs are now looking at my van. It's just full of crap. Slightly embarrassing. So this is the afternoon now. They've just started putting this racking in. It's just like a big Meccano set. It's just all nuts and bolts. But the vice has gone in. They had to put that in on an angle. We wanted to try and get it in straight, but it's just not gonna clear the shelving. So they had to put it in on an angle. Oh, it doesn't matter, but it's just it's a puzzle trying to fit this all in. But that's the racking going in now. Even these vices, right? This is a super simple one. This is just a pull out vise. But even the tread plate, even this base plate here, has got pre-drilled holes. So you can put, if you want, you can have this on a turntable. So you can have this with a turntable with a drop down leg. I mean, it's just, you can make this, you can have a big vise, little vise. This can be on a turntable that can rotate. With a locking pin on it. I mean, this is just a simple one, you know, but you look at this and you think, wow, but actually you can make it, you know, in the back of one of those Scottish power vans. I mean, their one had it was a big table, pull down the leg that comes out, and a proper big heavy, I mean, for truck equipment, it's a big heavy vise, but this for us is just for, you know, it's just for small stuff we're working on where you just want a firm base to work on. I left Sortimo to their own devices with this. I gave them a rough concept and they sort of came up with all this stuff. This to my old man is utterly incomprehensible, you know, doing all this. I think he's glad I'm doing it, but I mean, he'd never spend this sort of cash on you know, vans, racking and all this sort of stuff. But we're very similar in certain ways, me and my old man, but we're also, when it comes to growing and that sort of stuff, we're totally different, you know. I mean, you could argue, you know, why'd you spend, couldn't you get a second-hand van, you know, a nearly new van or something? Does it have to be, couldn't you get normal racking? Couldn't you get a normal van? Well, you know, maybe I don't want to, you know, maybe there's more to it than that. My old man he's 60, 65, 66, somewhere around there, 65, I don't know. I think he's 65, and anyway, I mean, you see the van he's got, what a beaten up piece of shit, really. I think it's a Citroen Relay or something, but it's like a 10, 12-year-old van. It's absolutely beaten to fuck. And it's a sad reality, you know, when you see your old man and he's still working at 65, not because he wants to, but because he's got to, you know, and he's driving some old piece of shit. I mean, if it starts, that's a good day, you know, and some piece of shit wooden racking that fucking falls apart every time you go around the corner. It's a sad reality, you know, it's sad. And it saddens me terribly, you know, but maybe that's half the reason that I go to the extents that I go to, because the truth of the matter is I just don't want to be like that. And that's, you know, if I was to be honest with myself, that's all it is. It's not you trying to show off or anything, you just don't want to be like your old man. It's a harsh reality, but I love my old man. Don't get me wrong, I fucking love him. There's nothing I wouldn't do for him, but I also don't want to turn out like him, if that makes any sense, you know? His mindset to me is, I understand why he's like that, but this to him is incomprehensible. Okay, so we've just come, they've actually just finished both the vans. They've just dropped the pair of them here ready for us to go. But Dave has not actually seen, you haven't actually seen the interior of any of these yet. No. So, I don't know, you haven't actually got a say in this. The way it is the way it stays, so you don't have a say in it.
It's pretty impressive.
No more racking issues.
That's pretty impressive.
It is cool, isn't it?
It's going to make life so much easier.
Yeah.
I really like that. That's the hand wash, isn't it?
I think that hand wash is the upgraded version of my old one.
Yeah.
You know, the old pull down. It's still a pull down, but I think that's like a newer version.
Yeah, it's much nicer.
So, anyway, there's the side. All right, and going on efficiency, right?
Right. Oh, wow. That is properly neat.
Well, I figured if we use these, we can get rid, you know, the Stanley screw boxes we've got.
A nightmare, yeah.
We can bin all of those because we can just use these instead. And we haven't got to have 66 cases rattling around. We just use those instead from now on.
Yeah, it's so much nicer.
And we've got these backpacks as well. These multi-pack backpacks. Yeah, we've got those as well. I was just thinking for those, we just chuck all the cable in.
Yeah.
FP200 and all that sort of stuff, just chuck it all in there. And then we've got those with like these smaller little cases, which you can slot in these backpacks. So if you've got call outs and stuff, we can just jump on the tube with one of these, and that carries like Wagos and whatever. So that's
really, really nice and tidy.
It is smart, isn't it? Now, obviously, any scratches and damage is chargeable. All right.
Of course. Invoice me.
Anyway, right. I've been here for 4 days now. Let's get the fuck out of here. That's a really weird sight, looking at another of my vans in a rear view mirror. That's a really weird sight.
It's good though, no?
Yeah, it's cool. It's a weird sight. This is cool as fuck. I love it. This is awesome. How's it? Is it all right? Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Really good, really good. Nice
to drive. Awesome.
Well. Proper awesome.